In a world where laughter can wound deeper than knives, the cruelest sound is not silence. It is mockery echoing across a school hallway while the world pretends not to hear. And on a bright weekday morning, under a sky too warm and golden for cruelty to exist, a boy named Arvin Whitlock rolled down the marble corridor of Westford International Academy in his sleek black wheelchair, trying to hide the fact that only one of his legs touched the ground. Money built the shiny floors beneath him. Money paid for the world-class teachers and the manicured lawns. Money surrounded him like a shield, yet somehow money could never protect him from the sting of pitying stares and quiet whispers that followed him everywhere he went. They didn't see the athletic boy who once ran like wind, the son of one of the richest men in the city. They saw a broken kid, a billionaire's son missing a leg after a devastating accident that stole not just his limb, but his confidence, his courage, and most painfully, his sense of belonging. If you believe kindness can change the world, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Always Kind. Let's spread love and second chances together. Arvin never understood how loss could shape the world. Not until the day he woke up in a hospital room months earlier, sunlight pouring through windows like mercy, only to find that part of him was gone forever. Doctors spoke softly. Nurses tried to smile, but all he could see was the emptiness beneath his blanket where his left leg used to be. Before the accident, he was unstoppable, a basketball star, confident, quick-witted, admired. Then one reckless driver, one night of flashing sirens and blood-stained pavement, and everything became different. His so-called friends stopped texting. The boys who once celebrated his victories began avoiding him, as if disability was contagious. The girls who smiled before now turned away, awkward and unsure, unwilling to stand near someone who reminded them how fragile perfection could be, and the whispers, how they cut. Poor billionaire kid. All that wealth, but look at him now. Why even come to school like that? What's he going to do with one leg? Every morning at Westford was a battlefield. Students who never earned what they had acted like royalty. Pride lived in every corner, cruelty disguised as humor, superiority disguised as culture. For Arvin, school was walking, or rather rolling, through a minefield of smirks, snickers, and stares. If wealth was power, then why did he feel so powerless? His father, Adrian Whitlock, tried to help, offering tutors, private schools, even talking about homeschooling him. But Arvin refused. He needed to cling to whatever normalcy he had left. Still, all his resolve couldn't stop the loneliness. It lingered like a shadow, heavy and suffocating. One crisp autumn morning, when the air smelled faintly of jasmine and freshly cut grass, the janitorial staff were polishing the hallways before the first bell. Among them was a little girl wearing a faded floral dress and carrying a lunchbox that looked hand-painted with tiny stars. Her name was Sarah Minhaj, the daughter of one of the school janitors. She wasn't a student. She couldn't afford to be, but sometimes she accompanied her father before he started his shift, sitting quietly in a corner sketching or reading second-hand books. She was small, with curious eyes, soft features, and a gentle presence that seemed oddly out of place in that glamorous academy. Sarah saw something no one else did. She saw a boy who held his breath when others walked past, a boy who tried to shrink into his chair, hoping the floor would swallow him, a boy whose smile had been lost somewhere between physical therapy sessions and sleepless nights. She didn't pity him, she simply saw him. And instead of turning away like the others, she walked over, quietly placing herself near him as if offering silent companionship. Arvin noticed a little bracelet on her wrist made of simple white thread, with tiny beads spelling hope. He glanced at her sketchbook and spotted drawings, flowers blooming through cracks, a boy standing against a storm, hands reaching for light. They were messy, imperfect, beautiful, and they made him feel something he thought he'd lost. Arvin's first instinct was confusion. Most kids avoided him out of discomfort or cruelty. But here was this small girl who had no reason to approach him, no status to prove, no reputation to protect. She didn't treat him like a broken thing. She treated him like a person. She spoke softly, her voice gentle like the sunlight breaking through clouds. She didn't talk about his leg. She didn't talk about what he lost. She talked about birds she saw flying outside, about books she wished she could read, about dreams she held close like fragile butterflies she feared the world might